Okay. Hi, I'm Catherine Bramkamp, and this is your mini course on how to dance with your muse, work through your creative blocks, generate new ideas, and schedule inspiration. This mini session is on creative blocks. I did a podcast for 5 years, and my partner was in Australia, Adelaide, Australia, and I was in California. And we had the best time. We did about 200 episodes, did it for 5 years, and we worked with writers, we talked to writers, we talked about writing challenges, and it was amazing. Just a great experience and really enjoyed it. And if you want to see it, it's still on iTunes. It's called Newbie Writers Podcast and very fun. So one of the contentions, though, we never could agree, the two of us could never agree on the idea of writers who have creative blocks. I believe in writer's block. My partner did not. Now, he's an AV guy, he's an engineer, so he just was better at power through things. I understood. Writers do get blocked. That's why they drink. And drinking is not a good solution. So we're going to talk today about how to help you get through creative blocks, or even recognize what they are and what you can do to manage them. So we talked about inspiration at the last class, and I said, go get overwhelmed. Let me explain that a little bit more, because you might have thought, what does overwhelm have to do with inspiration? It gets you out of your head. So I think probably the best thing you can do when you're feeling blocked is to get out of your own head and get into your body. And Shama talks about this too. I think most practitioners of myself coaching, or therapists, movement specialists, get out of your head and get into your body. And this does a couple things for you, but let me go back to the overwhelm, because I wanted to explain that a little bit. When I'm stuck, I need to go someplace that is bigger than me. And it can be something magnificent, like going for a walk in the woods, or going, to the edge of a canyon, hiking, getting outside. That's awesome. That's awesome. But it can also be something where you're overstimulated. So I use the example of like a fabric store. I went into this tiny little fabric store in Kihei, Maui, and it was packed to the ceiling with rolls and rolls, very narrow folds and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls and rolls of brilliantly colored fabrics. And there's the blues all together, and there's the yellows all together, and there's the reds all together. And it was overwhelming and fabulous, because it was so much beauty packed into such a small area that it helped me respond differently. It helped me think about things differently. It helped me say, oh, but look at that, and look at that, and look at that. And then I see the world a little differently once I exit the store. It can be that easy. And I want that for you. I want you to find something that's easy. I like casinos for this reason. So go to a nearby casino. If you're in California, goodness knows there's enough of them. And just walk into the floor of the casino and listen to all the noise. Look at all the flashing lights. Let yourself get back a little bit and just let it all be overwhelming. I mean, Vegas would even be better, but local Seven Feathers resorts and casinos is going to work for you just fine too. And allow that to give you all that stimulation, so that you suddenly are out of your head and just listening. You're just being. That's how you get inspired, and that's how you break up those creative blocks. So the other thing to do, like I said, is to walk, drive. Think about a problem while you drive. Don't listen to helpful tapes on how to break through your creative block. Just drive in the quiet even. Oh, that's radical. But let your head think. What you're going to do is you're letting your left side of your brain work while the right side goes out and thinks. Okay? Or the other way around. One side of your, let's do one side while the other's busy. Walk, clean, do something tedious. Okay? Vacuuming is awesome if you're stuck, and this will work in your real job. So let's say you just wrote an essay, or you just wrote a plan, or you just finished up a spreadsheet, and you're like, oh my God, I have no idea what I'm doing with this. Leave it, go vacuum the living room. The noise, the movement. Okay, think about this. You've got ambient noise that's overwhelming. You can't really listen to anything else. You've got the repetitive movement, and suddenly the other side of your brain is going to respond and give you an idea. Showers are also good. I stand in the shower, and it's the noise, it's the feel, so you're sensually doing something, and it's just blocking out everything. And then suddenly your brain comes up with the right answer. So you want to move and distance your cognitive brain from your responsive brain and let that run and be free. We know this works. You're listening to me saying, oh, I know it works. But consider this. A half-hour walk is going to give you more, or generate more work and more inspiration than if you sat at your computer for 2 hours and stared at it and just like toggled back and forth between two words. And we do that, right? We just sit there. It's like, oh my God, I have to sit here. I have no idea. Get up, move. When you come back after that walk, after those moments, it's going to be a whole different focus. That's critical, and that's part of how you break through blocks. Okay, so this might not happen the first time. So let's say you go for a walk, you come back, and you have maybe one crummy idea, and you're like, okay, she said that this was going to work. So I watched the video, I was totally into this. It's not working. So what do I do now? You do it again. Sometimes you're going to have to break down your block process literally and start pulling out those Jenga blocks one by one by one before it falls, right? Pull out one, and then you're done. Go away. You're done for the day. If the project isn't working, there's no amount of beating your head against your desk that's going to help that. Go out and walk, go out and stroll around, mow the lawn, sweep something. I always tease that people who are blocked or have way too much time to start a project never do, but their lawn looks spectacular because they've been out there with manicure scissors getting the edges just right. So go ahead and do that for a half an hour, 45 minutes, return, sit down, say, all right, what else can I do? Maybe you only do a few sentences. Maybe this takes a little longer. Another idea when you're blocked is to do the project or start the project when you're supposed to be doing something else. In other words, play hooky from something you're supposed to do. Let's say you're supposed to do the dishes, or you're supposed to be at work, or you're supposed to go to a family event that you're not that into, and you call in sick. Use that time to work on that project that you've been blocked from forever, for a week, for a couple of days, because it's that idea that we're stealing time from something else. Steal that time. Allow yourself, it's like being sick from school. Let yourself take your day off. Revisit Ferris Bueller's Day Off, right? And then use that time, because it's found time. Do you have a meeting that was canceled? Woo! Who doesn't want a meeting canceled? Because suddenly you have time, and use it. Don't waste it. Don't watch television. Don't go Netflix on me. Use that time and start writing about your project. Start coming at it from different angles. Start working, because you can break through those blocks, and it can be done. And wait for the next one, because we'll talk about how to generate new ideas.